you don't have a bolster, and these are very dense, large Mexican blankets, they're not tiny ones. But what you do is you create yourself a bolster, and I need 3 of them to create a bolster. Okay, and that looks like a really solid bolster, right? And if a 3 stack is too high, you can always drop part of it down like that, so you have a 2.5 stack. So you just have to be sort of an engineer with your yoga practice sometime. Now, I do not need anything on this other chair, but I will put something there, just for good modeling behavior. If you had a little extra sticky mat, you could put a sticky mat here so you wouldn't slide, right? That would be a way to do it, put a sticky mat where you wouldn't slide. Actually, I have one. And so a true yogi, in true yogi form, you could imagine yourself in the Himalayas somewhere doing yoga on a rock, which is different from how we do it today. Okay, so here's my setup, and I have my second chair. So the second chair is overhead so I can have access to plow pose. Shoulder stand, this is a supported version. I have introduced this to so many people of so many ages and body conditions. Neck fusions, hip conditions, MS, autoimmune conditions. So this is an amazing pose. Shoulder stand is considered the mother, the queen mother of all asana, meaning that it flushes all the glands and organs and does that replenishment of circulation. It builds vascular health, right? Flushes and builds, etc. So let's get in it. I'm sitting on the edge of my chair. I'm swinging my legs over. I'm tucking my hips in far enough that my sacrum lands on the seat of the chair as I go back. I'm holding on with my hands. I'm walking my hands down. I'm not looking backwards. I'm looking forward until my elbows touch something and I feel secure. And then I drop my shoulders. And then once I drop my shoulders, I take my arms inside the chair. Tuck the shoulders in. How much? Just enough. Just enough to get that release at the back of the neck. Right? And see if your hips are even on the chair, and if they're not, you bend your knees, lift your hips up, do a pelvic lift, and scoot those hips evenly up onto the chair. It is imperative that when your hips drop into the chair, that your breastbone pops up. So sometimes we're disconnected pelvis to chest. You want to reconnect. So as the hips are landing, raise your breastbone higher. And in this moment, I'm actually pressing my head into the floor to lift my shoulders to really open my chest and help the lungs expand into the top ribs, right? And then setting my shoulders down and releasing a little tension at the back of the neck. And then pause here and regulate your breath, like we did in the beginning of class. Long, smooth inhalations, long, smooth exhalations. And observe in your own body how the blood moves. So the blood moves from the belly to the chest, from the chest to the throat, from the throat to the sinuses, to the eyes, to the brain. Just observe how the blood is flowing. And observe that as you slow down your breath, so think of the heart rhythm, 5 counts in, 5 counts out. But smooth, no tension. You're going to observe how the body begins to redistribute the blood. Long breath in, long breath out. And one more time, you might even feel the sinking of the lower abdomen. So the belly remains soft, deep inside. And before we do anything with the legs, let's do one more action with the arms. So with an exhale, I'm going to invite you to press your forearms out against the legs of the chair to help you get your arms under you just a little bit more. And maybe take a little bit of pressure off the neck. And then maintaining the balance in your body. Straighten one leg up, keeping your knees together. So I don't want you to curl your hips off the chair. I want your hips to stay deep in the chair. And then the other leg. So now I'm balancing on a point at the top of my sacrum. So somewhere at the top of the sacrum, L4, L5 area, there's a balance. And the chest is lifted. And then open the back of the knees in two directions. So reach from the outer back knee up toward the heel, and from the outer back knee draw down toward the buttocks. So really extend the legs fully, feel the kneecaps get firm in position. Smooth inhalation, smooth exhalation. And then with your next exhalation, wrap the flesh of your top thighs around, the flesh of the shins around, so you feel the heel bone, the inner heels, squeeze in a little bit as that flesh wraps around the bones. It makes your legs join each other more completely. Now, this is something that there could be variations. If you have trouble with this, you say, oh God, that doesn't feel good in my hips. An option is to put a block between your knees, or above your knees, and use the block as a guide so you can get that feeling of wrapping and getting a good stability in your pelvis. All right, so that's the option. And then we're going to go to Halasana. So you're going to bend the knees, pull the knees in towards your chest. And as your hips start to leave the chair, reach one leg out and touch down on the second chair. And then walk your feet into the chair. So you have a nice extension at the back of your neck. And be certain to lift your spine. So don't let your spine collapse in the front, because then it'll be hard to breathe. So press your thighs up toward the ceiling. Extend from your hips into your heels. Smooth inhalation, smooth exhalation. And again here, thinking of wrapping the flesh of the outer thigh, the outer knee, the outer shin, up toward the ceiling to lift the weight of the outer thigh and the outer hip up off the chest. Again, reaching into your heels to give a little stretch all along the spine and up into the back of the neck. If the back of the neck feels vulnerable, just lift your chin slightly to create a little resistance to not stretch so much. One more breath here. Surrender something. Remember gratitude for your body, appreciation for your body. And with your next exhale, walk the feet toward the edge of the chair. Take one leg back, give a little hop. Return your hips to the first chair. Knees are bent. Let the knees drop out to the side so you can let go with your fingers. Give your fingers a rest. Soften your belly. Lift the diaphragm, lift the breastbone so you feel that length and space from the inner groin up into the diaphragm, and from the diaphragm supporting the lungs and the heart. Free flow. One more breath here. This is a pose I'd love to stay in longer, but we're running out of class time. So bring the knees in. Slowly slide back and return to Baddha Konasana in the seat of the chair. Find just the right place for your spine so my hips are always supported. And then relax your spine in this position. Find that length of your shoulders, release the neck a little bit, turning side to side. And deep inhalation, deep exhalation. And I'm going to ask you to bend your knees, roll to your right. Come to a sitting position.